Life can throw crazy curveballs your way and you never know what tomorrow will bring, but one thing you can do is try to be prepared. Pretty Unprepared is a podcast hosted by me, Pamela Valdez, all about being the best version of yourself while preparing for the life you want and deserve. With this podcast, we are targeting millennials, content creators, students, creative individuals, and more looking to gain insight on all things social media, living your best life, self-confidence, love, building your career from the ground up, landing internships, secrets to working with brands, and so much more. Tune in every Monday at 8 a.m. for a brand new episode. Hello guys, welcome back to Pretty Unprepared. We are at episode 18, which is all about building streams of income and how I went from being a broke college student to now making 5 figures as a content creator. I have been able to completely change my life within the last few years, and this episode, I'm telling you guys, it is really going to drop a lot of good gems and tips and advice. So I honestly recommend opening up either your notes app while you're listening to this or grabbing a notebook and a pen, because these are things that I honestly wish I knew. And I'm just going to be talking all about how I'm able to land these 5-figure brand deals, how I was able to start this journey for myself, as well as how you can start your journey in the entrepreneurial world, the benefits of having your own business, and more. And currently I am 21, but I started doing all of this back in 2020 and it is now 2023. So I'm telling you guys, anything is possible, and let's get started. Before I actually get into the tips, I want to give a super quick disclaimer. I'm so sorry, but I really want to say this because there are so many people that come online on the internet and shame other people for working a 9-to-5 or having a desk job. And I'm telling you guys, there is nothing wrong with having a normal desk job and working a literal normal 9-to-5. Like, there is nothing wrong with that. And a lot of people want stability. They want a bi-weekly check, and that is totally understandable. So if you are listening to this and maybe you have seen other people shaming people online for wanting to work a 9-to-5, or maybe you are kind of like balancing between both sides, I'm letting you know it is totally okay. And I just want to say that because I don't like the people that shame other people for not wanting to start their own business. So first, I'm going to get into how I started my journey, because obviously I want to give you guys a little bit of credibility, and I don't want to just seem like someone who is just coming on the internet and giving you like false information. So back in June 2020, I graduated high school, and I decided that exact month I was going to take social media seriously. And the reason why I decided to start that month was because before in high school, I was super shy. I was not confident at all. And I was just a completely different person from who I am today. And everyone who knew me or like has like previously known me in high school definitely knows that I am not the person that I am. Like, the person that I am today is not who I was before, and I'm honestly grateful for that. But that month I started my blog, which is called Glamour and Guide, and it is still up and running today. That is my fashion blog. And then moving on to March 2021, that was when I started my TikTok. And then in February or like January 2022 was when I started Valdez Agency, which previously was a social media management agency. Now it is just a agency in which I post opportunities for content creators, students, anyone who is even post-grad and looking for full-time job opportunities. I am always seeing really cool opportunities online, and I love to share that online with people who don't have as many resources or don't have the time to job search. So that is what Valdez Agency has become, but I did used to do client management. And then currently I am still doing social media full-time. And I also am the social media intern for a startup skincare brand, and that is also a paid opportunity. So currently that is everything that I'm doing right now. I'm going to be a senior in the fall at the Fashion Institute of Technology, and I'm very excited to finally be graduating college. From the beginning, taking it all the way back to June 2020, I always took it seriously. Like, I knew that social media was going to be something that was going to grow for me, and I knew, like, I'm extremely delusional, and I'm someone who I believe that everything that I want is going to happen, or it's already on its way to happen. Like, I don't like to be negative. It literally just makes me spiral, and I always like to be positive and delusional, and I'm just like, you know what, this is going to happen. I am letting God take it by the wheel, and this is just going to happen for me. And I've always been like that. But specifically, when I started social media, I was looking at what everybody else was doing online. And I was like, if they can do it, I can 110% do it. Because the hardest part is just getting started. The hardest part is always going to be just putting your foot down and saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Because it's so easy to sit down and prepare yourself and watch all these YouTube videos and read up on Google about, how to start a business. But it actually takes that little percent of people who are going to go from it being a thought into being an action. And that is what makes you different, because you're already listening to this episode. You already want to do something different with your life. So you're already one step ahead and in that small percentage. Now I want to talk a little bit about how I built my education and my knowledge, as well as my experience, because this is very helpful for any of you guys who are also looking to get started. So when it comes to how I was able to build up my knowledge on everything that I know, I used YouTube, Google, and TikTok. That is everything that I used. I wish I was kidding. Someone could literally pay me to change my mind and say something else, and I just wouldn't take it, because it is literally so easy to find information on the internet. Like, I'm telling you guys, Google, YouTube, and TikTok have everything. And what I used to do is I had a notebook as well as a binder and then a Google Drive folder. And I would use this notebook and this binder to put together like my little business plan of what I was going to do. And first I had this for my blog, then I had this for my agency, and now with TikTok, I kind of just combine both of everything that I learned from doing both of those into my social media strategy, etc. And as for my experience on how I was able to even launch my agency, I already had previous experience in social media. I was already posting on my own. I was already working with some small brands and receiving free products. So I decided to take that education and everything that I already knew, because you'd be surprised, there's so many businesses that don't have a social media presence because they either don't know how or they don't have the time to set it up. And there are so many companies out there that you can reach out to, small businesses of course, that might need that extra hand. And that is what I used to do when I was doing client management. So I would reach out to people specifically in Facebook groups, and I would ask around, if anyone needed help with any extra work. I would show them my portfolio. I made a website. I bought a domain off of WordPress, and it was valdez.agency.com. The website is now down because obviously I don't do client management anymore. But like I said, I took it seriously from the beginning. I made a website and I really dedicated myself, because if you think about it, it's so easy to spend $100 on a pair of shoes or some clothes, but people don't see that $100 you can invest into literally making a website and putting yourself out there, making a portfolio page. Like, people are just so quick to throw that money aside, and it can be invested into so many other things, especially investing it in yourself. Some other resources besides YouTube, TikTok, and Google is Skillshare, HubSpot, Coursera, and LinkedIn. I really like all of these platforms as well, especially LinkedIn Premium. Not LinkedIn Premium. There are courses on LinkedIn that you can take, and you can actually get certified for different kinds of skills. And I know they have like a lot of social media ones, but again, it's all about just reaching out, looking out there, seeing what's available. And HubSpot is also very popular, especially in the social media world. So if you want to get certified in certain things, you can definitely check out those. Something else that I've also recently been doing to educate myself more in just finances and the business world in general, and just myself, is reading books. And last night I actually started Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which is exactly what it sounds like in the title. And I also downloaded a bunch of more books, such as The Psychology of Money, The Millionaire Next Door, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Power of Positive Thinking, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I just got so many more books, but you can find a bunch of lists online. You can even find some on Pinterest of really good business books and mindset books that can just completely change the way that you look at life, because so many people think that it's a rat race and we all need to see like who's going to get to the top, who's going to work harder, when in reality you just have to make money work for you. When you are just constantly working and not wasting your time, but like when you're constantly just losing sleep and your energy over trying to make money and you're not making the money work for you in different ways, it's going to be harder in life. And that's why so many people are like, losing sleep and energy like how I used to over this. Now I want to move into how to actually start making money and the 3 different kinds of income streams that you should know about. So once you have kind of figured out like what is your niche, what do you want your business, or even if you want to be a content creator, what do you want your content to be about? Once you have figured out all of these things, it is time to find out how you can actually make money. So I'm going to give you guys some of the examples that I mentioned for myself, just because I don't know which ones you guys are going to be picking. But for my social media management example, I knew I loved social media. I knew I loved content creation, working with people, working with brands, and I knew how to write emails and all that stuff and how to make a website. So I took all of these skills and I put them to work all together, and that was how I was able to obviously, reach out to clients, get them to trust me and see my previous work. And that is how I was able to, find my niche and figure out what is it I'm going to do. And I specifically had clients. I had one in real estate. I had another one who was a business owner. And then I had another one who was her own business. I think she did like psychology and like therapy stuff. But obviously I had figured out my niche and I was like, that is what I'm going to do. And so the 3 different kinds of income streams that there is there's passive income, there's earned income, and then there's portfolio income. So I'm going to break all these down in simplest terms that I can. So passive income is making money while you sleep. So if you think about it, this is like writing a book. Once you write it, you upload it into the world on Amazon or anywhere, and then people buy it. And it could literally be 3 a.m, you're sleeping, you're in your 10th dream, and someone could buy your book. And there you go. You made money while you're sleeping. And you can even, like, for example, produce a song. When you produce a song, you can actually get royalties from that and then make money from that. So that's an example of passive income. The second income that I mentioned was earned income. And this is anything from like any kind of task that you do. So this could be babysitting money, doing a task for someone, plowing snow, or like, mowing a lawn. Like this can be super basic and small things because you're earning income from someone. And this is probably from like a side hustle or a side gig. And the last stream of income is portfolio income. So this is a little bit more complicated, but this is essentially your financial portfolio of different kinds of assets. So this can be money that you have invested in stocks and bonds, mutual funds, maybe you're getting dividends from companies, or you own a real estate property, etc. These are all really important to know about because you want to figure out how can you at least have a little bit of space in every single one of those. And even if it's not earned income, like even if you don't want to, do anything physical like babysitting or plowing the snow or something, still try to find at least like a little bit of percent in each thing that you can do. So I'll give you guys an example of some of my streams of income and how you could do it as well. So some of my passive streams of income are my social media. So more specifically, YouTube. I have not started getting paid yet from YouTube. However, I do have a YouTube channel and I'm working towards getting, some ads running and being able to make money from that. But if you have not started a YouTube channel yet, I highly recommend doing it because YouTube actually has just updated the way that you are able to make money. And if you guys go into your YouTube studio and you click the little $sign that says earn, you are now eligible to only need 500 subscribers to get paid and 3,000 watch hours. And previously it was 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. So it definitely has went down by a lot. And I think now is definitely the perfect time to start YouTube. But again, that is a example of passive income because while you are literally in bed sleeping or while you're out and about, once you upload a YouTube video and you have ads running on it, you're going to make money for years on that video unless you take it down. Another example of passive income would be my podcast. Again, I don't have ads running on my podcast yet, as you guys can probably notice if you listen to the whole thing, but this would be an example of a passive stream because once I upload an episode after I sat down and recorded it, anytime someone listens to it or I put an ad into it, I'm able to make money from that as well. And then obviously the more listens, the more money. The last stream of passive income that I have is affiliate links and my storefronts. So you guys all know what an Amazon storefront is. You guys all know what affiliate links are. And if you don't, it is essentially a link where it is personalized to whoever posted it and they are able to make a small amount of money through that. So whenever you see influencers posting links on their stories, they will always say use my link or use my Amazon storefront, because if you add an item from their storefront into your cart and then you buy it, I think within like 24 hours, they are able to make money from that. So there are just so many different ways of possibilities that you can make money. And now moving into my earned streams. So I have an Etsy store. I don't really talk about it because I haven't really updated it in a while, but that will be an example of earned income because I sat down and I decided that I was going to put together a store for people to purchase media kits and organizational tools. And these are all literally just digital products that I sat down for like a few weeks and created. And this could be passive income as well. I feel like it kind of passes under both because people are able to make money from it while like I can just be laying down. But I still consider it earned income because it is a lot of work and you do have to put in a lot of work into your digital products. Next would be my part-time job, which is my internship, and I call this my part-time job because I do work at it three times a week. Next would be my brand deals, which includes Instagram, TikTok, and then my blog. Previously, I have done some partnerships on my blog, but mainly my most amount of money comes from Instagram and TikTok. And lastly, UGC is my last form of earned income, and this stands for user generated content. So this is essentially brand deals, but you don't have to post it on your social media. And I love doing this sometimes because a lot of brands are willing to pay you a lot of money, even thousands of dollars, for you to just make a video for them to use on their social media, and you literally don't have to post it on yours. And I've done so many UGC videos for brands that I love, and when I see it live, I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's so crazy seeing it go from like your phone out into the world on the internet, and you can make a really good amount of money from that. Now we're going to get into some of the perks of having a business as well as the cons, how to save money, preparing for taxes, and then staying focused / being in your own lane. So some of the perks of having a business is definitely future financial freedom. That is one of the things that I love about everything that I do, is because I know that in the future it is just going to continue to grow. Obviously, it is a lot of work right now, you know, being a content creator and then also running my agency and like doing a bunch of things on the side. But having that possibility of future financial freedom is definitely a really great feeling, because when you are working at a business, obviously you can be easily replaced. And sometimes it's scary to know that if something were to happen to you tomorrow, you would literally just have your desk given to somebody else. But when it comes to, you know, future financial freedom with running your own business, it's really up to you to decide like how far do you want to go, how far do you want to work, how much more money do you want to make. You also get to be your own boss, and I know that everyone says that it's definitely like oversaid, but it truly is an amazing thing to be your own boss and getting to set, you know, exactly how you want to work and your life, your personal stuff. Like being able to be in control of that is definitely a great feeling, because I remember when I used to work my old part-time job as a front desk like receptionist girl, it was so annoying to constantly have to ask my manager, can I take off? Or you know, trying to find someone to cover for me. And then when I would cover for other girls, they wouldn't cover for me. It was just a whole mess. And I'm really glad now that like I just have so much flexibility, which takes me into the next thing, which is flexible hours and your own schedule. Who doesn't love to literally just, you know, make their own schedule, do what they want? And obviously you are going to have to be disciplined with yourself when it comes to making your own schedule, because I'm someone who I love to sleep, and I could sleep for hours. I could literally sleep in until the afternoon, but you know, you have to obviously be disciplined and make sure that you are keeping up with an uptight schedule, or at least making sure that you're getting stuff done. And then lastly, for some of the other perks is you get to meet amazing people and network in your industry. And this is one of my favorite things about being a content creator, is that every time I go to events, I get to meet new people, I get to connect, I get to grab emails, and I get to just know that in the future, if I want to reach out to this person, them answering me and helping me out or giving me an opportunity is probably high, because they'll remember me from the event. And you also get to follow your passions and do what you love. I feel like at the end of the day, that is what is the most important, because you don't want to be in a job, or you don't want to be within a business, even if it's for yourself, where it's so boring and you're not having fun, and you just hate life, and it's kind of like an everyday cycle of, okay, I gotta wake up early again tomorrow and go to work and come back home and then eat and then go to sleep and again do the next day. That can be annoying, and it's your life. You want to enjoy it. You want to make sure that you're having fun, and when you have your own business, it's really cool because you get to really follow your passion and do what you love. As for some of the cons of having your own business, as I mentioned previously, you have to be extremely disciplined and make your own schedule for yourself. If you don't give yourself, office hours and times where you are going to be working, you are just going to be working probably, until very, very late. And I'm someone who is definitely guilty of doing that. I like to wake up late sometimes and then work very late into the evenings instead of sleeping, and that is not good. So definitely prioritize yourself. And another con is that every month is not going to be the same. When it comes to social media especially, you could have one month where you make almost 6 figures, and then you could have another month where you make like $500. I've had so many months where I'll either make $300 from a TikTok, or I could make almost $10,000 from TikToks. So truly, it really bounces back and forth. You are also going to lose certain people in your life, and this can be friends and family, and only the real ones are going to be left. And I have to mention this because I am so shocked. And if someone last year were to tell me this is what your life is going to look like next year, and these are the people that are going to be left in your life, I would honestly laugh, and I would be like, you're joking. Like, there are so many people that I'm like, okay, my life is, they're going to stay with me forever. They're going to be, I don't know, like at my wedding or something. And it's like, no, that did not happen. And it just has completely changed and become so different. So I'm telling you guys, like, that is another big con, because when people see you doing well, when people see you making a name for yourself, they're either going to be jealous, or they're going to want to put in their own 2 cents and try to get you to stop what you're doing, which is so wrong. There is also a huge financial risk with losing money when it comes to having your own business, and I feel like that's definitely pretty obvious. When you are investing into something and you don't know if it's going to be successful or not, you have a chance of losing money, and that can be annoying, but that is just something that you should always have a mindset going into, is that you can possibly lose money. You're also going to probably be more stressed out and feel like you need to take on every single opportunity. I know I definitely feel like this, especially when I'm working with certain brands. Sometimes I feel like I need to take on every opportunity and overwork myself, instead of just taking a breather and not having to go to every single event and not having to work with every single brand. But you feel like if you don't, you're missing out on an opportunity. So definitely try to know the balance, or at least have a healthy balance of both. Lastly is liabilities and legal problems, as well as a lot of time commitment. So when you have your own business, there's always going to be, legal problems sometimes. I'm not saying that everyone is going to have that, but there are a lot of businesses that undergo legal things, such as like copyright and infringement, and just like suing and a bunch of crazy things, trademarking. Just make sure that you know about all of that. And especially time commitment. That is another thing that is also a con, is that you are probably not going to have as big of a social life or a personal life when it comes to having your own business, because there is so much work that goes into it. And I'm not saying that this is essentially like a super bad thing, but if you are someone who wants to be out all the time and doing things and shopping and going out and like drinking or hanging out with your friends, it can be a little bit harder to do that when you have a huge responsibility on your shoulders. But again, prioritizing a work-life balance, I think, is so important. As for saving money and preparing for taxes, I have actually quite a few TikToks on this and a whole series on how I do it. I'm thinking of making a YouTube video on how I prepare for taxes, maybe when it gets closer to tax season. But just to give you guys like a quick overview, make sure that you're using platforms like QuickBooks to keep track of receipts and spending. Separate your personal finances from your business finances. So for example, do not mix your grocery shopping with your office supply shopping, because you're probably going to be confused on what is for what. And then also organize your money and your purchases. I like to use Google Drive. That is honestly the easiest and least complicated for me. Like, I just know my information is on there, it's going to be safe, whatever. So I like to use that. I also really like Notion for keeping track of like some budgeting and budget tracking. And then Microsoft OneNote is also really good. It's just a form of like note taking, which I also really like to use for just writing down notes or like kind of like preparing for any big purchases or things that I want to do, and writing things out and organizing. And lastly, staying focused and in your own lane is another thing that I want to talk about, because you need to separate yourself from the people that are not going down the right path and that are just like, they don't want to try in life. Because I have been around way too many negative Nancys in my life that are truly just, they want to see you fall. They want to see you at the bottom with them, and do not let them drag you down. Because trust me, the fact that you already want better for yourself and that you want like a better life and you don't want anything basic, I'm telling you, like, you're gonna get so far because you're already thinking about this new life that you want or this better life that you want. And when you're with people that literally just want you at the bottom with them, it's like, no, you can stay down there, but I'm gonna go up. And then also know where your money is going. This is so important because you want to make sure that you're using every dollar to make it work for you. For example, saving up for an investment property, or looking into index funds and how you want to put your money into investments, etc. I'm going to wrap up today's episode by giving you guys some little tips to get started, which is just educate yourself as much as you can. I mentioned before, Google, TikTok, YouTube, HubSpot, Skillshare, Coursera, LinkedIn. Make sure that you are really educating yourself on whatever it is that you want to do. And don't tell anyone what you're doing. That is the biggest thing that I can say, because there is no room for negativity, and the less people know, the better. The more that you give them a chance to know what you're doing and, any plans that you have coming up or what you want to do, it is going to be so much harder for them, because they know that you are working your way up, and they're going to be like, no, like, I need this person to come back down with me, or I want to give them some negative ideas and be like, yeah, like, do that, but remember this. Like, I have so many friends that would always be like, yeah, like, that's a great idea, but remember this, but remember that. So that is something that I really, really want to emphasize, is separate yourself from those who are just not going down that right path. I am so excited for all of you guys to start this new journey. And if you guys are looking for some more personal tips or advice, or you have any super specific questions, you can definitely DM me on Instagram. I'm always on Instagram, and I'm always open to just chatting and talking in DMs. So definitely do not hesitate to reach out. And I am so excited to see where you guys are all going to go. And I really, really hope that this episode was helpful. Thank you guys so much for listening to Pretty and Prepared, and make sure to tune in every Monday for new episodes at 8 a.m. and my DMs are open for any podcast episode ideas you guys have, or if you guys just want to talk, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.